Fine. So in our last class, what we have seen that parallel cursor, the concept about the parallel cursor, very important concept. This is fine. So in our last class, what we have seen that parallel cursor, the concept about the parallel cursor, very important concept. This is the performance improvement technique. Last class we discussed. This is the parallel cursor. So we understood in detail how to implement the parallel cursor. So generally in interview they will ask what are the steps you will have to follow to achieve the parallel cursor. So the first step what you will have to tell, for example, if you have the header table and item table, and for each header record you have to do the operation on corresponding item. Okay, like in our last example we have seen that we were having the VBAK table, and based upon each sales order we are supposed to add the total weight from the item table. Okay, so the first step you should have to sort the data of header table. Here I'm taking the header and item table example. It can be any kind of table where you have to require loop inside a loop. One should be outer loop, another should be inner loop. Okay, so outer loop will be one internal table and inner loop will be also there on a internal table based upon the outer loop internal table each record. Okay, so here header table is my outer loop internal table and item table is internal loop internal loop internal table. Okay, so sort the data of header table first. This is the first step. With the field on which, based on which you want to get the data from item table, right? So in our case what it was, VBELN means sales order number. This was the main field. Okay, in our case I'm just writing. Then sort the item table. The second step, what should be the second step? Sort the item table with the field, same field, with the field with the same field as what? Header table. So whatever on the field you have sorted, on the same field sort on the same field sort in this item table also. So sort the item table with the same field as a header table. So in header table you have sort on VBELN. So here also you are going to sort on VBELN because the where condition you are going to put in VBELN. So this is the second point. Then and the third point what we are having, that read the, so now you are going to start the loop. Okay, so loop at header table, loop at, I'm just writing IT underscore header. Okay, into, of course you will have to write W underscore header is your work area, and then you are going to end with end loop. Okay, so this is the syntax which you will have to use. So the first step sorting, second step is also sorting. In the third step you are going to start the loop on the main table, which is the header table, and after doing this loop you'll have to, in the fourth step we'll have to write a read statement. Okay, so read IT underscore item table, okay, with key VBELN equals to WA underscore a header hyphen VBELN and use the binary search. Okay, because your data is sorted, so it's always better to use the binary search because you have large amount of data. That's why you are going to use this parallel cursor technique. So better give the addition binary search. It will improve the performance a lot. Okay, so binary search we are supposed to give. So otherwise it will perform the sequential search. Okay, now once you get the tabix, then once again you will start the loop at it underscore item into wa. So here what we'll have to do, if you found the data, means if size sub rc equals to 0, in that case, if size of rc equals to 0, then what you are going to do, you are going to capture this particular tabix value, particular the row number, right? Right, row number equals to, this is the current row number actually. Okay, current row number, and this equal to what? Site tabix. So the system variable will give you the information about the site tabix, and in else part, if it does not found anything, then just continue. Okay, means go to the second header record because there is no data in item table. Why to unnecessary go ahead and check, right? Now if you found, then you got this data into this particular variable, then loop at it item into a work area from what? lv underscore curr underscore row underscore number. From that particular index you will start again doing the loop, and for this loop, okay, for this loop I'm going to use another, another end loop. Okay, and this end loop is for another end loop. Okay, so this is for this particular loop. Okay, this loop is this and this loop is this end loop. Okay, now here you do whatever operation you have to do. Okay, so first you have to check if uh, wa, here maybe we can write wa underscore item. So if wa underscore item hyphen VBELN equals to what? wa underscore header hyphen VBELN, then you'll have to perform the whatever the business logic, addition, summation, whatever, it can be any logic. Okay, then do your logic, else just exit. Okay, just exit. So when you will exit, what will happen? You will be able to exit from the current loop. From this loop you will be able to exit, and you will again come into this loop, right? And just after this end loop, this end loop is there, so it will control, you will come over here to the next record after processing the business logic. So overall this logic you'll have to tell in your own words. Just try to understand, and if you tell, if you do some mistake also, there is no problem, but if you tell something at least, you know, uh, it will have a positive impression. It is not necessary that line by line you will have to remember in this way itself, nothing like that. You should know the concept, what actually we are trying to do over here. Okay, so there are mainly, this is these first two steps. Just remember, sort the data of header table with respect to VBELN, the key field on which you are going to put the where condition, right? So in the normal way, you are going to put in where condition, whatever field you are going to put in where condition, that field you have to use for the sorting purpose. Okay, in the normal way. The second, the same field you can use, with the same field you can sort the second item table. Third, put the loop on it underscore header. Okay, put the loop on it underscore header, then read the it underscore item table and find out the row number which we are going to process. If you found that row number in it underscore item, that means you found something and you get the site topics. If you didn't get, just continue will go to the another record of the IT header. It will not go ahead. This will not be processed. Another statement will not be processed. It will just continue. Okay. If everything is fine, if you got some record in this read statement, okay, if you got some statement in this read statement, then you got the data into this LV underscore current row number and take this value and come into this loop. Okay, the control will flow to this loop and you are going to process the IT underscore item record from that particular row number. Okay, now you are not unnecessarily traversing through the another record. Whatever the required record number is there, through that you are traversing, and because it's sorted, and you are just checking over here. So if this VBLN is equal to the item VBLN, then just do the business logic whatever you want to do, or else if it is not equal, then exit, right? So because it is in sequence, it will start processing all the record which is having the same VBLN. Otherwise, as soon as it will encounter the next VBLN or next header record, it will just exit. Okay, so please understand this one and remember this concept, very, very important concept, this parallel cursor technique. And now these are the steps we have written. If you have any query over here, please feel free to ask, or else I'm going to the next topic. Any query if you have, any question? Hello.
No, no, no. You can carry on.
Okay, fine. So now go to the another
Yes
topic.
or no? No questions on my
Fine.
side.
So here, if we see that we have completed the best practices for the performance improvement. There can be a lot of best practices. The important one just we have written over there. Parallel cursor also we have seen. File operation. This we have to see. We will see this one. But before that, let us see this. Okay, this is also a part of performance improvement. ST05, SE30, SAT, ST12, STAD. Okay. Let's start with ST05. What's this ST05? How we can use this ST05 in our performance improvement procedure. Okay, so SAP has given the tool. Suppose if you have some program written, suppose you have written some program and you want to know how much time has been taken by this particular program and which particular query is taking more time, because mainly we're going to perform, right? What important things will have to take care with respect to performance? See, if we are talking about performance, two important things you have. Okay, one is ABAP layer performance and another is DB layer performance. Only two things are there, right? One is ABAP layer, that means application server layer. Whatever you have written the logic over there, that is one thing. And just a second, just a second. Sorry. So here the performance, two major things we are having. One is application layer performance, right? Here you have written all the logic. Application layer is nothing but a BAP layer. And the second is, right, database layer, right? There are two important part we are having when we are going to write any program, right? database layer. So you have to measure the performance at application layer with respect to ABAP code. For example, if you have taken some loop, you have used some read statement, you have written some if else, right? However, if else is not going to take more time. Okay, that will be fine. If else and clear statement, refresh statement, it's a very lightweight statement, nothing to worry about this. Okay, so you can use multiple time clear statement, refresh statement. You don't have to bother at all. You don't have to think at all about that performance, that if you're writing 3 times refresh statement, what will happen? Nothing will happen. It will not impact your performance. Okay, so you don't have to think much at all. Why I'm forcing on this? Because when I started development, at that time I used to think a lot that we have to give this refresh, because generally we are supposed to give before the end loop for refreshing the work area and all. So I used to think a lot that shall we give or not, and gradually with the experience I came to know that these statements are very lightweight statements, and nothing will, no impact will be, means it's a very negligible impact if you are going to put inside a loop or outside of a loop. Inside the loop also, it's not going to create any kind of performance issue or something like that. It's a very very fast and very very lightweight, so you don't have to think much. Okay, on the clear and loop part. And uh, if if condition, maybe you can think, but that is also that's not a big problem. Most important thing is, the read statement. The searching is very very costly, so this, so you have to think about the read statement. Read means nothing but searching. Okay, you'll have to think about the delete statement. Okay, either it's an internal table deletion or database table deletion, any kind of deletion. This read, we are talking about the internal table read. This delete is also, any kind of read. If you are reading the internal table read, it's a read statement. If you are reading from the database table, it's a select statement. Both is performance, from the performance point of view, both are very very important. So read, delete, update, modify, you know whether it is internal table, we are, because it's application, we are talking about the application layer. So um just you can think over here about the internal table. Okay, here we will see, at the database layer we will see the database specific things. Okay, so here the internal table specific things we are having. This you'll have to be careful. Okay, for this read, use the sort first. Okay, use the sort first and then use the read statement with binary search if you have large amount of data, or use the sorted internal table. Okay, if you're not feeling comfortable with using the sorted internal table, no problem, use the standard internal table, but first sort your internal table and then use the read with binary search. Okay, and this is actually good. Using the standard table, there are a lot of benefit if we're going to use the standard table, and most frequently used table is a standard table only, right? Not the sorted and hash table. Most frequently, means in our OLTP system, in our ABAP system, most of the time we are going to use, generally for BI or BW, we go for a hash, or if we have some a very very complex kind of things, then we can go for this sorted table and all. But generally, uh, means we have been using with the standard table. Okay, so first sort that internal table and then use for the read purpose. Don't use sort statement inside the loop. Okay, don't use sort statement inside the loop, because sort is very costly. It takes a lot of time. You can do the experiment. Okay, you can do the experiment. Similarly, don't use, don't use delete statement inside the loop. Okay, similarly, don't use delete statement inside the loop, because every time database has to search about this delete for that particular record, and then it has to delete. Instead of that, whatever the record you will have to delete, first you mark that record with additional flag. Okay, And after the loop, just you delete like this, delete it underscore tab. Suppose this is your internal table where the key field, whatever, mark the flag column. Suppose one column you have added flag column equal to X. Okay, like that you do after the loop. After the, this is my loop. Read is okay, read you can use. There will not be any alternative for this read. You must have to use if it is required. Okay, you must have to use if it is required. So read is fine. I'm just trying to mark it in some another color. Read is fine, read is fine. But delete, just avoid using the delete inside the loop and end loop. Instead, use a extra column in this particular internal table. For example, you can create one more column, flag underscore delete column, flag underscore delete column. So whatever the record you will have to delete, just mark those record inside the loop. And once it is there, just once you come after the loop, then use like this, delete it underscore tab where flag underscore del equal to X. Okay, like that you'll have to use. Update, modify, don't use a single, don't use a single record for update. Okay, it's better what to do that, use in a use in a batch operation, in a batch mode. First you collect all the record which you have to update. First you collect all the record in an internal table. Okay, then in one go after the loop you try to update that. It will improve your performance. This holds good for this internal table as well, and this database. Whatever we are discussing over here, the same is going to be true for this database layer as well. Okay, the same thing is going to have at the database layer as well. Means if at database layer, what you do, you use the OpenSQL, right? In OpenSQL, what you have the select query, right, to read the data, to search the data. Then what you have the update statement, you have modify statement, right, you have the insert statement. Okay, you have delete statement. So the same here also you have insert statement. Okay, so you can see that the same thing. So whatever we are discussing over here, the same thing, it is there also applicable. Okay, so here in terms of internal table we are talking, here in terms of database table we are talking. Okay, so application layer, whenever the application layer comes into the picture, that means we are talking about the internal table performance. Internal table performance. Okay, and whenever the database layer comes into the picture, we are talking about the DBMS performance. Okay, we are talking about the table level performance. Table level performance. Okay, so the both is true. Okay, so select query, searching, bandit search you can use here for the read. Here index you can use, right? We have discussed that when you have to get the data from the database layer, we are supposed to use the index. Okay, we are supposed to use the index. That's why in where condition we are going to put the key. Fine. So this is the DB table delete. Okay, database layer, table level performance database layer. That's fine, that's good. Okay, so overall this is the thing. Hope you understood this. If you have any query, feel free to discuss over here. So just remember that inside the loop and end loop, don't use the delete statement. Okay, don't use the update statement, whether it is the internal table update or database update inside the loop. Okay, and end loop, don't do this. Okay, it will impact on, if you are using the database update, it will have very bad impact on database layer if you're going to use the, inside the loop and end loop, you are going to use the this statement, delete, update, modify, right? Select also, you have to avoid the select statement at database layer, right? Delete, you have to read on internal table is fine, okay, but select on database layer, that is very very bad inside the loop and in loop. Instead of that, you have to get first the data from the table, okay, in one go. Get the data from the table in one go before the loop itself, based upon some where condition and all. Don't put inside the loop and in loop the select query. Okay. Read internal table is fine, but select is very very bad. We don't have to use at all. Delete internal table is also bad, and delete internal table and DB table. Both is very very bad. Okay, both is very very bad inside the loop. Okay, then update internal table. IT stands for internal table and DB stands for database table. Both is very very bad inside the loop. Okay, then modify IT and DB. Both is very very bad inside the uh, loop and in loop. Insert IT and DB, both is very very bad. You don't have to use at all. Okay, here also okay, so update, modify, insert, and then after uh, what we'll have, select a statement. Okay, so read on internal table is fine. Read on internal table is fine, you don't have other way. Select on DB table inside the loop is very very bad, is very very bad. Select inside the, okay, now read is okay. Read is, you can use read. So these are not recommended inside the loop and end loop. So at ABAP layer, you are going to, see these particular things, whether inside the loop some particular statement is taking how much time, or some function module, some subroutine, if you have, it's going to take how much time, right? And at database layer, you want to see some particular select query, right? Some particular select query, how much taken has time, some particular update statement if you have called from the ABAP layer, right? Automatically nothing will execute a database layer. If we're going to call from the ABAP layer, then only it's going to get execute, right? Then only it's going to get execute. So the time, if you have to measure, for that purpose, SAP has given you the transaction called many transaction. Okay, SAP has given you many tools, and that tools is the one of the earlier we used to use this ST05. You can see here that the option you are available with over, after some time we will automatically this meeting will be ended. It's a time limit is only 40 minutes as it is showing over here. Okay, so maybe we can again try to join. If it is possible, we can join once again. So it is just showing me a warning like that. So if you are just come out, please try to join once again. If you are able to join, it's okay, or else we will continue from Monday. Fine. So here the select trace type, we are having the different trace types: SQL trace, buffer trace, NQ trace, RFC trace. Different trace you are having. You can see the different. Okay. Mostly, or the most of the time, we are going to concerned with, we are going to use with this SQL trace, which is by default selected. Okay. Other settings, just you keep as it is. ST05 ST, okay, ST SQL trace. S stands for SQL, T stands for trace. So this ST05 is dedicated for the SQL trace. If you want to see the performance of some particular database of a particular select query, this transaction is going to give you the idea about that. Okay. I have one program already written, right? We have written so many programs. So let's go and check inside this loop. Okay. Inside this loop, this is the already this parallel processing, 40 number 39. If you check the 39 number program, or what I will do that I will copy this one and 41, and this is for st05, for st05 demo, right? Copy local object, and it's always better practice to change the description so that it will be easy for us to search later. Okay. Performance T code. So first this is the st05. We are talking about the st05. So going to change mode, just save it. What happened? Why it's not going? Oh, source code, going to change mode. Okay. And then here the select statement, it is there, right? One select statement is there. You want to see the performance of the select statement. Suppose how much time it is taking, right? This is one statement. This is one another select statement. Okay. This loop and all this will not take about, means st05 will not give you the information about how much time has been taken by this loop and all. Okay. But it will give you wherever, when you run this program, whatever the select query got executed, this is the select query, this is the select query, right? We are using this reuse ALV grid display. If inside this function module, if SAP has used some select query, okay, anywhere SAP have used some select query, then what will happen that this particular st05 will capture that select query and will give you the performance measurement about that select query. Okay, let us see and run if there is any select query by SAP standard as well. So how to do this one? Select this SQL trace, click on this activate trace. Very, very important. In interview, sometimes they will ask you about the st05, how, what are the steps you have to follow in order to enable the st05. So you have to tell, use the st05 transaction and go into st05. By default SQL trace will be selected, so let it be like that. Then click on this activate trace. Okay, and here you can see that by user ABAP HANA 03 for user is activated, right? Trace is activated now. Once your trace is activated, go and run your transaction. Run this. Okay, it's taking some time, no problem, because I think we have used the 50,000 records, right? We have used the 50,000 records to fetch the query. And this is the normal processing. That's why it will take about 2 minutes, more than 2 minutes we have seen in the last class. So what I'm going to do that where it's taking the time in the loop statement, it's taking the time, right? In the loop statement, it's taking the time. Suppose if you want to debug this particular thing, like where it's taking so much time, so what you can do that, it's a little bit advanced concept, but the one who is having some experience, he will be better able to understand over here. See, SM66 is a transaction where you can see what are the work processes are involved in running your program. Okay, so what is my user ID? Just filter with my user ID, and here you can see that this is the program name. So you can filter with my user ID. This is my ABAP HANA 03, and this is my program name which is running. Okay, priority is high. I want to debug this particular work process where is taking the time. Okay, double click on this. Once you double click, it will take you to the another instances. You will have to find out, this is 77 seconds has been till now. Okay, so how I identified, this is my fifth number, work that number is there. Here you can see that number is 5. Okay, and the time is 93. So from here, this number, this is the work process number. Double click over here, and here the 5 number is your work process number. Double click once again over here. Once you double click, it will give you the option to you know uh, debug. Okay, here go to some utilities and debug ABAP. Okay, click on this debugging switched on. No, I have to debug the work process where it got stuck. I have done some wrong thing. Okay, I think I have done one mistake. We'll have to select this one, go to here and debug work process info, edit, administration, and here we can debug work process. Go to work process, cancel, not cancel, yes, start after write stack, no, trace, activate component, program, delete session snapshot. Somewhere we get the option to debug the work process. Just I'm looking into that debugging. You can see the program debugging, right? Click on this, debug the selected program. Yes, debugging is currently not possible. Okay, why? So actually, just let me check. Has it given? Yeah, it has given the now the work process is not more running. That's why it is not able to debug that particular work process. Okay, I will show you once again. I'm going to run this. Okay, just go and refresh this one. Just refresh it, refresh it, refresh it, and this is the work process again.